what made the shepherd sore afraid. Israfel came as an apparition that flittered outside of candlelight and rose in Edgar's dreams. They often spoke simultaneous, sometimes in call and response, but never engaged in direct conversation. A versatile term from Carlisle's restaurant and music life, which meant either slaw or fries or choice between the two, or the instrumentation in a group, the supporting instrumentation, came instead to mean the pages of a script given at the end of the day to prepare them for tomorrow. The sides. She and Chris rehearsed together. Chris held Carlisle's hand as she wondered, all these words that she's made captive in her memory, will they, when the camera's pointed at her, suddenly decide to vanish? Chris reminded her through encouragement that, after all, she sometimes sat in front of, stood in front of hundreds of people, playing complicated arrangements on a Taylor guitar. These lines, while singing at the same time, these lines should not present a challenge. But what Carlisle knew, and Chris did not, is that these words had to be absorbed into her so that she might become Israfel without the big Taylor guitar to hide behind. And that was what scared her. Gordon Lucier told her about how Edgar Poe didn't grow that mustache until 4 years prior to his death, and he seldom used that full name unless for cases of propriety or euphony. He demonstrated, whispering, tapping his fingers to her sternum, Edgar Allan Poe. Edgar Allan Poe. Like a heartbeat. The wealthy Allens, who took in Edgar after his mother died and father abandoned the family, never officially adopted him. His older brother, William, became a mariner and something of a poet, and lived and died a drunk in Baltimore. His younger sister, Rosalie, in the care of the Mackenzies of Richmond, despite mental deficiencies, learned to play the piano and taught penmanship. Edgar sought connection to the Richmond establishment for the implied security and status, even after John Allan severed relations. On set, while enjoying a very pleasing Sally Bell's Kitchen boxed lunch, the contents wrapped in chessboard patterned paper, and between bites of chicken salad sandwich, Gordon Lucier spoke about Edgar's life to Carlisle. He became a professional writer, he told her, writing for Richmond's Southern Literary Messenger, and he brought a fist to suppress a small belch. It was the only thing he was good at, he declared. I mean, Edgar might have thought he was going to inherit a chunk of the Allan estate, but guess what? Old man Allan dies without a will, and so all that money goes to John Allan's love children, and he emphasized the raunchy aspect of John Allan's indiscretion. And then he stopped, as though a sudden revelation struck. You know, he might have believed or dreamed that he was going to end up in a study in the big inherited mansion. And there in front of a hearth fire built by servants, he'd construct his grotesques and arabesques while the masters and the slaves tended to the estate's grounds and the nannies raised the children. But he was alone. except for his young aunt, young cousin wife, and aunt mother-in-law. And so what did he do? He wrote acres of essays and criticism and short stories and poems. He wrote like his life depended on it because it did. Carlisle took this in. She reflected. And anybody that knows him think they know anything about him just assume he was a drunk. I mean, they just like one follows the other. Gordon winced. Something had gotten lodged in his back teeth. But thankfully, Sally Bells provided a fortunate toothpick, and so he prized loose the interloper. And then he asked Carlisle, "Do you want your pickle?" and use it as an instructional device. Yeah, right. So how did this drunk or this addict create such a vast body of quality work? You know, Edgar's problem was that he made friends with people he should have stayed away from. Like, he shuddered, Rufus Griswold. Rufus Griswold was Poe's parasitic literary executor who ruined and poisoned his reputation for generations of readers throughout the United States. And he was played by Chicago actor Elam Edwards, who insisted on staying in character the entire time, which made him even more disagreeable. Rufus Griswold, in his full makeup, was an excellent 19th century melodramatic villain. Carlisle's wings shadowed over Edgar, or Gordon Lucier. And in that moment, as he turned his head, he resembled all those melancholy portraits of Poe, and it sent a chill through him. He said, he wrestled with his dark angel, and it overwhelmed him. Carlisle took his hands. "I'm so sorry." And then Gordon's smile beamed large, unlike anything that the daguerreotype had ever captured in Poe's face. And he said, "Miss Raphael, don't worry. I mean, without these events, why would we be here to interpret them? I don't know about you, but like our friend Eddie, I got rent to pay." Anyway, that's a taste of Carlisle Montgomery. Available at Fountain Books and throughout the greater Richmond region and at harrykollatz.com. So if